All right. I read your press release, and it is clear, but it is muddy. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
In a nutshell, I mean, explain to me what you're trying to convey in your press release.
Okay. We had to use secondary data. It was a class assignment that we were doing. I was doing logistics regression on. And so we had a data set that was collected from 1990, between 1990 and 1994 on the entire Jamaica. So it would, persons were sampled from all parishes in Jamaica. And they were looking at the sexual behavior, the preference on contraceptive use among the Jamaican population. So I selected the use of condoms among the population. And the topic that I had to select from that data set was the female university graduates prefer men who use condoms. That's what I found from the study.
Oh, okay.
But have you ever heard of this word stealthing?
Spell it for me.
Stealthing. It was
Stealthing.
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 Stealthing. Yeah, it was in the Sunday Gleaner,
Oh, okay.
where men engage in risky sexual behavior. So during the sexual act, they would burst the condom because men have a way of saying that they prefer to feel the fleshy.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because there's a popular saying among some Jamaicans, using a condom is like sucking sweetie through the plastic. So
Right,
yes,
yeah.
I was very interested in that study.
Okay. So
I mean,
you made the point of stealthing now to say how does it relate to the study that you did? You're saying,
Okay.
or you just mentioned it because
I mentioned it to
okay.
introduce the study.
Okay.
Yes, because you know that there are more modern types of contraceptives, such as the morning after pill and the injection. But using the condom would be a dual method of contraceptive. It prevents pregnancy as well as it prevents sexually transmitted disease. Yes.
Okay. So you're saying you use a study that was done from 1999. 1990, the data set. Okay. And it was across Jamaica, you said. But the persons with university education, on the second page of your study, were 3 times more likely to use condom when compared with persons who have primary education or less. However, the number of university persons that were sampled, 1% had college or university degree.
Yes, 1% of the population. I don't have the exact number of persons, but when I did logistics regression, that's what I found.
Okay, explain to me what logistics regression is. Perhaps
it's a complicated type of multivariate analysis where persons would answer the question yes or no. So it is more than a regular regression analysis.
So, okay, they would answer yes or no without explanation or with explanation?
Yes or no, without explanation, right.
Because I find it strange that your smallest percentage provided you with the largest response, because they were 3 times more likely to use condom.
Yes, because logistics regression is a very highly technical statistical analysis. There are other variables that were looked at for condom use. For example, religion, person's religion, their place of residence, and age. Those were But when I put them in the model, we did a statistical model. When I put them in the model, they were not significant.
Okay, so did you try to compare condom use at that time as a comparison to now?
No, I was just using secondary data. That's what you call it. Secondary data is data that are collected by other persons and you use them. Maybe, I would have received a different result if the data were fresh, and also if I had done a mixed method where I actually went and interviewed the person. Yes, so yeah.
So this is someone else's work.
Yes, that's what secondary data.
Right, clearly. Yes. And in terms of religion now, I noticed that Church of God, if I'm not mistaken.
Pardon?
Persons who attended, the
highest representative group or the Church of God.
Oh yeah, but then you can't comment on it because this is someone else's data that you are.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Lordy. So how does that impact the average Jamaican now? How does this data?
Well, that's a study I would like to continue. And it would have been better if I had more current data, but it was a class assignment that I was using. The aim of the assignment really was to test our knowledge on multivariate analysis. Yes, that's what it was.
Okay. So if you were to conduct this study now, how would you change the possible questions that you would have asked rather?
I would have done a mixed method, so I'd have them do questionnaires and then also do face-to-face interviews with the persons.
Okay.
And ask them about their sexual practices and so forth.
Let me. I guess I am putting it. Putting you on the spot here now. If you were to work, say for example, you are at the Ministry of Health, and you saw this article about stealthing that you mentioned.
Yes.
I'm trying to take you on a journey here now. What would be your response in terms of knowing that Jamaican men are participating in this practice? How would you try? Would it be that you are not surprised? Would it be that you would try to curtail this behavior? As someone in the ministry with power, then clout, to change the behavior of these men, what would you recommend?
I would do interventions such as education to advise them about the riskiness of their behavior, especially with AIDS, HIV, and other sexually transmitted diseases, and even hepatitis, because sometimes we think of AIDS as very highly contagious, but if hepatitis is more contagious than HIV, because the lifespan of the virus outside of the human body. Yes. So persons should really practice barrier methods of dual methods of contraceptive to prevent pregnancy as well as to prevent diseases, sexually transmitted diseases.
So what is the key message that you want to convey from this study?
The key message that I would want to convey is that there should be continuous, notwithstanding the more modern types of contraceptive methods, that there should be continuous education on the use of condoms, both female and male condoms.
In bearing in mind that we have more modern forms of contraceptive now.
Yes, such as the Norplan injectables.
But in your opinion, the condom is more effective?
It should be used as a secondary, as a backup.
Oh, okay. Alrighty then. Any other comment you wish to make?
I also found from this study that condom use is, higher in younger boys or younger males than the older females. And I think the younger males would want to use it as a dual method of contraceptive, as a protective method, and also to prevent disease and also to prevent pregnancy. Whereas maybe for the men in the older age group, they probably having sex with persons who are not of the childbearing age, so they'll be more inclined to take the risk.
Yeah, it would be far more telling though if the study was done now, because I'm sure these young men aren't using condoms.
Yes.
Right, Mr. Cameraman?
I do believe that, and I know that is one.
Sorry, I was that?
Yes, I do believe so.
That they're not.
Yes, they're not.
Right, hence we have the high rate of teenage pregnancy.
So the data are dated because of the secondary data. So that's one of the drawbacks of using secondary data.
Right, I'm sorry, it wasn't your study and it wasn't done now, because I would have really taken you to task on that. But anyway, thanks for your willingness to
and thank you for your time.
Alrighty, and all the very best.
Okay.
Okay.